All right, welcome back. In this video or part, we'll be taking a look at how we can set up our AI. So let's head into the Entities tab, and we're going to create a new unit. The unit that we're going to create is going to be a top-down unit. And from here, we'll simply head over to the AI tab and select True. Now in here, we'll select all the things that we want. So here, we'll select Flee, select Wander for the idle behavior. For the max attack range, we'll say 6.25, even though this guy won't actually attack. We'll keep this on simple, and then we'll keep the sensor radius to 2.34375, which is times 2 pi. And then here we'll say none, and that's it. Now, for the rest of this, it's pretty much just AI stuff. So we can actually remove the key bindings. We don't need any of that. For the effects, we will be adding stuff here eventually, specifically like blood effects and, stuff where you die, something happens, right? But for now, we don't have that yet, so we're just going to leave this. For the tween, we could select recoil, but there's a chance that this might not be working in your version, so make sure that you're up to date on the version engine. And now let's finally pop in our sheep. So first, let's actually rename this to sheep. And we'll upload our cell sheet, upload from computer, and upload the sheet or the sheep GLB file from all the file assets that you linked or that you downloaded. All right, once you've downloaded your sheep GLB, we can hit submit. And here we go. There's our sheep. Now, from here, we can start to add other things. So maybe for the animation, we can add a move animation here. And then here we can just say walk. And yeah, and just leave everything here. Save the animation here. For default, what do you think the default would be? Well, it would be idle. You can hit save, and the rest of this you can pretty much change. So the speed we can change maybe to like 3, and then the health we can change this to 25 maybe, because that's probably how much health they would have. Now, if we want to show this guy, we can display unit to friendly, natural, and hostile, and then the rest you can adjust yourself. For the unit bar style, that's also something you could adjust yourself, but I'm going to leave everything by default and just hit save and apply. Now the question becomes, well, how do we add these guys? Because we added it, or we created this sheet, but we don't know if it works. We have some scripts. Let's actually delete all these. We don't need this guy. Right, but how do we make sure this works, right? How do we add it, right? We need to add this in the world script. So let's head over to our world script here, and we will simply spawn units. Now, how do we do this? We'll create a new script, add a new visual script. We'll say on creeps. And in here, we'll say every second. Now, all we need to do is essentially say, have a while statement. While the current amount of sheep is less than a certain number, then we'll do something. So we're going to do a number comparison. And here we'll do less than. We could do equal. It doesn't really matter. We'll just do less than 20. So we'll say less than. Hit OK. Go over here. Let's select this number, say 20. And then go over here. And the left-hand side, we need to say number of unit type. And we'll say the number of the units. We'll say the number of sheep. OK. And there we go. So while the number of units of sheep is less than 20, well, we'll simply create unit at position. So here we can say create the sheep for AI1 for now at position. But for the position, we'll say a random position in region. And the region, we'll probably need to make one. But for now, we can say entire map region. And then for this, we can just say 0. It doesn't really matter. And hit OK. And let's save and apply and republish and see what we get. All right, once we're in, we can actually see that we have the sheep, but you may not. Now, why is that? Well, because in our entities, what would have happened for you is the sheep are being created, and it is kind of technically working, but they were falling through the floor, and you would not have even seen them. So there's two things we need to make sure are right. In the body type, you need to make sure that all of these are set properly for the original value, and then for the z-index, make sure that we have floor and depth 1. For the lock rotation, we'll do X and Y. And then the more important part is the collision editor. This is what is actually colliding with the game. Now, once you select this guy by left clicking, you'll see here what the collides with. Yours will be empty or grayed out. Hopefully, maybe not. If they are, then make sure they are blue. And then here, if you want to just do fit render, you can. I think it's pretty good, right? It makes it actually fit the uh, box of our sheep. And that's it. So you can just hit save and apply. And that's it. Now, there is one more issue. You can see that the health is 25 out of 100. And that is my fault because here we did not change the max to 25. So we need to make sure we change that max there back to 25. So once you've done that, make sure you save and republish. And now we should get this result where we have our sheep running around. And yeah, there we go. And we can attack them, but nothing happens. So let's take a look at how we can add some interaction with that. All right, so in order to actually attack anything, we need to now create a weapon, right? So to do that, what we'll do is head over to the Items tab, go to New Item, and we'll do Melee Weapon, and let's pop in our weapon. So let's upload. Once you've uploaded the axe, we can hit Submit, and here we go. Now, if you want to upload this guy as well, you're more than welcome to upload like an image for the inventory icon. I might actually do that. I'm going to copy this. And here we go. We now have an axe icon. So this you can kind of just get, you can basically load in a 2D sheet and then copy the URL and then put this here. You could do this in another object or you can do it in this one. It doesn't really make a difference. Okay, so in the melee weapon or the weapon, we can see or observe that the melee here is melee 500 and the radius is at 60. Now that's actually too much. So we're going to do 1 and then the offset 1. Now the unit attribute, we're going to do 10. So this will reduce by 10 health. Now let's take a look at effects. And for the on use, we're going to do swing CC. And for everything else, I believe we can just leave by default. Now, for the edit body, for the selected, we might want to change a few things. So the mount rotation, we'll do -90. For this, we will do 92. For the size, 10. And for this, we'll do 31. And then for this guy, we'll do trees, and 4 is fine. And everything else is good. And then for the collision editor, we need to make sure that all right, so we might have to actually save before we start editing this. So let's save and apply, and let's publish just to make sure. All right, so once we've done that, we now have like a legitimate axe, and we can actually just fit to render, and you could probably just leave it like this. But let's make sure that we also have collides with all these. And yeah, that's basically it. For the rest of these, we can just make sure these are all 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We can just hit save. And now let's go to our homie, or save this as well. Go to our homie and make sure that on the default items, we have the new item, or let's actually rename this to axe. Save. And that'll rename it there. Hit save. And we can't just hit play, so we have to republish once more. Okay, so we can see that the attacking does kind of work. We can see that we can actually reduce their health if we kind of do this weird little attack at some point. It's kind of a weird, yeah, there we go. We can see its health does reduce, but obviously we can see that the axe is obviously not where we want it to be. So let's make sure that we're doing this properly. In the axe, we will go back to the body types selected, and in the mount target, we want to make sure that we go to find and go to homie and select the bone. We're going to search up right hand. This will say Mixamo rig, right hand, hit save. And let's just make sure one more time, actually, that these are right. Okay, good. And once you've done that, you can see that the axe is now in my hand and we have a much cleaner attack. So there we go. We can now attack our sheep with a kind of slightly delay. That's okay. That is currently being fixed. So worry too much about that. Hopefully by the time you guys are doing this, it won't have too much of a delay. But yeah, we can attack them and almost kill them. So in the next video, we'll be taking a look at how we can actually reduce their health to zero, or I mean, what to do once their health is zero. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video, and make sure to subscribe and like and comment down below.